So I've made this video to talk about the language of coronavirus. So it's a very typical topic in the world now. Remember that you should not use dictionaries just to translate words from your first language, because in those cases there is a high probability there will be a different word, because each language and culture has their own words. Here is a list of some of the words, or all of the words, that I'm going to have in this presentation, and I'll give definitions on the other slides. So if you want to pause, have a look at them, but they will appear in the next two slides. So, pandemic, a disease that affects the whole world, or at least a large proportion of the world. So it's a medical word, so very similar in many languages. Lockdown, the situation when you are not allowed to leave your home, probably because of government regulation. You're not literally locked in the house, you have your key, and probably in each country you have certain conditions that you're allowed to leave. But the origin is probably from locking prisoners in their cells when there's a violent situation. Quarantine is simply the situation of separating ill people from healthy people to avoid infections. To self-isolate is when you manage the situation. Possibly governments put regulations, possibly they will send people to check on the situation, but you don't have medical staff managing the way that you isolate. Stay safe is just now a common expression that is a way to tell someone that you don't want them to become ill, so don't take risks. And it's really become popular since the coronavirus has affected a lot of the world. Furlough is a scheme that was used in the UK, possibly in other countries, and a government scheme that for workers who could not work from home, couldn't work by using internet or telephone, were simply paid by the government to not go to work, but they would receive about 80% of their salary so that they could continue to pay bills. Again, to encourage the next word of social distancing. So maintaining distance from other people, no physical contact, for example. The next two words relate to medicine. So a treatment is a medicine that reduces the symptoms, so it makes it easier for the person to recover from the illness. So it really controls how severe you'll feel this. But a vaccine is something that is designed to prevent the infection, so you can be exposed to the virus without basically getting ill or being contagious to other people. So, of course, the world at the moment is looking for lots of different vaccines. And the final page here, we've got a few more definitions. Face mask is to describe that material that covers your mouth and your nose. I find it strange that we put the word face, so mask is something for your face. So why we need to say face mask is unusual, but that is just the phrase that people use. So it is better to say face mask to describe it. PPE is an acronym, a typical abbreviation for personal protective equipment. So describes all of the things, the accessories, the clothes that people can use to protect themselves, in this case against coronavirus, but could be used for other types of dangers as well. Key workers is to describe the essential staff, which in the case of coronavirus, we're thinking mainly about medical staff and police, but could also be for workers in supermarkets, in electricity companies, to provide all of the services that we need to continue to live a relatively normal life, even with less freedom. COVIDiot is basically just a combination of COVID and idiot to describe people who take risks. WFH, an acronym working from home, and coronials is for the babies born during or after lockdown. So I hope you found that interesting, and leave any comments if you have any questions.